What is happening,
What's up, guys?
everyone?
How you doing?
This is something that we have mentioned and talked about
for a while.
People in the comments have said, yes, please do it. We have asked if we should do Whisky Glass collection video. This is obviously not all of our glasses. We actually have many more. As much as we're really into whiskey, we're also really into having really fine glassware as well. Very proud of our glassware collection. You know, obviously I have one of each style out here, and I had to, you know, eliminate quite a few glasses just because, you
ran out of table.
Ran out of table. I hope the camera shows everything.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of go in a straight line, Mike.
Sounds good.
And just kind of go over everything, and then maybe just kind of go over like what I would pick as my like absolute must-owns. Yeah.
Stars, yeah.
Obviously, a regular Glencairn over here to start with. Here on the right, everybody, if you're into whiskey, you absolutely have to have a Glencairn. It really, really works. And what? It's like $8 or something like that.
Exactly.
No
matter what, gotta have a Glencairn.
Gotta have a Glencairn. It's the world standard of whiskey glasses.
Yes, sir.
Next is a whiskey glass that I also think is an absolute must-own.
Yes, different style.
A Copita Glass.
Yes.
It noses different from a Glencairn. Well, every glass noses slightly differently, but I think this can truly, depending on the whiskey, can truly offer a little bit more than a Glencairn. And if I had to pick between this and a Glencairn, I think I actually would pick this.
Yes.
Offers a very, very unique nose. Absolute must-own. Very, very cheap. Find these in, I don't know, in the range of $5 to $10 as well. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Again, 2 glasses right off the bat that are very, very affordable.
The curvature of it, you can hone in on certain notes that you might miss in the Glencairn.
Yeah.
With the Copita.
Next is a glass that's definitely not a must-own. It's more of a port, label as port glass. It's a little bit bigger, and it's going to give a very explosive nose just because it just has a little bit more of an opening. But it is meant to be for a nosing. It's meant to be a nosing glass, and it's actually a port glass, but we use it for whiskey as well.
It's kind of a hybrid between the Copita and the Glencairn.
So there you go.
It's interesting.
Next, we have this glass right here. It is a Snifter, and it's actually more meant to be a cognac-style brandy glass. You see this glass being used all the time in our videos, probably more than any other glass.
Oh, yeah.
And it has been one of our favorites for a long, long time. It is only about $7 or $8 from Crate & Barrel.
Yes, sir.
It's very inexpensive.
Crazy value.
And the beautiful part about this glass is if there is, let's say, 1 or 2 notes that you truly, really, really, really enjoy in the whiskey, this is going to really explode. It's really, really going to explode. Sometimes maybe in a glass like this, you're maybe not going to be able to pick out certain refined things that where maybe you would pick up in here,
right?
But maybe that explosion of, let's say you have a beautiful cola flavor in a whiskey, that beautiful explosion of that cola might not explode as much in this one as it does in this one. It is very important to try each whiskey in different glasses and see, just like you experiment with water, experiment with glassware as well.
Yeah,
because
and I would say like the Copita and the Glencairn, it's a must-own just to have that experience.
Of course.
Yeah.
For us, that's a must-own.
Must-own.
Next comes the 1920s blender's glass. This, a lot of people really, really like.
Their favorite.
Hands down. I've heard a lot of people say it. It does not work for me. It works for me. It's a massively explosive nose. But sometimes it burns a little bit on the nose. You get the alcohol, it just comes off a bit much. Comes off more than this one.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, and and I just don't necessarily really like. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't enjoy drinking out of it.
It's kind of hard to drink out of.
It's a little hard to drink out of. It's a little funky. It's like a light bulb. It's good. It's not one I tend to go to, but a lot of other people will disagree with me big time. There's a lot of people who adore this one.
So the point is why we have it here. Try it out for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Next is
Speaking
a
of
glass.
funky.
Yeah, we don't use this one. It's a German company called Spiegel. This was just surfing for like Snifter style glasses. When I ordered this one, Mike, I thought it was going to be like much smaller. I didn't realize it was going to be this massive thing.
It's fatty, yeah.
It's fatty. It noses well. It's kind of a little funky. It's a little too much for me. I'm not going to pour anything high end in here, but some people might think it's cool. It's not expensive. You can find it on Amazon.
Might be a good conversation piece when you have people over.
Yeah. Next is a German crystal company called, I believe it's called Ish. It's called the Ish something malt whiskey glass. It's a tricky way to pronounce it. Right now, you can't. These are kind of sold out in a lot of places, but Amazon does still have it. But it's kind of going for quite a bit of money. I think it's like around $120 right now. You get two of them.
Two.
Comes with a lid, and this is just.
That's one of our top glasses.
Might be my favorite glass.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's my
there.
favorite.
It's up there.
Yeah, if I could pick one glass, this is probably the one I would pick. It is so elegant to hold. It just feels right. The way the glass is designed, the way it just slightly curves. I don't know if the camera shows, but it slightly curves over here. Curves out a little bit, but ever so slightly where it's not off, where it's like funky. And just it noses so delicately. Able to pick up so much. And if ever I'm not picking up as much as I want, then I'll try it in this glass right here. And sometimes I tend to go back and forth between these two a lot. But for me, this is a must own. And if I could just pick one only, I don't know. I might take this.
And you can see all the different curvature variation, right?
Yeah.
And this might have the perfect combination of all of them. Like what the Copita's trying to do to like narrow the flavors in, as well as the Glencairn.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, the stem is like perfect length.
It just feels
this might
really
be the
good to
one,
hold.
yeah.
It just feels really nice to hold. It's expensive though when you compare it to like something like this you can get for $8.
Yeah.
Or
$6.
Yeah. And this is much more expensive.
Yeah.
Speaking of expensive, next we have this. Now we're going into something that's not needed, but it's just a luxury to own.
Splurge.
It's a splurge buy, and it just kind of feels really fancy, right? You know, it's kind of like it's one of those things where it feels like you almost need to wear a suit and tie to drink out of this glass.
Have white gloves on.
Yeah, this is a Lalique, James Suckling. Yes, 100-point cognac nosing glass. Yeah.
Glass.
It's simply gorgeous, but it's expensive. It's $165 per glass. It's Lalique crystal. This is just
show the stem. The stem is you're paying for the stem. The stem is nuts.
It's insane. It's just gorgeous, and it's a very good nosing glass.
It is. It does. It's functional and it's beautiful.
Next, this is a Bakra champagne flute. Dalmore uses this as a Dalmore glass. They use the same exact glass and they put the Dalmore symbol on it as a whiskey glass.
Gangster.
And before I even knew that, before I'd ever seen anybody use this as a whiskey glass, we have a picture on Instagram, one of our first photos on the Mall Reviews Instagram page. We tried it, exactly. We tried it as a whiskey glass and it works. It's really fun to drink out of.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and these are not cheap.
It's thick, it's bulky.
I don't know how much these are because we got it in a set, but I think, I don't know, a couple $100 for a set of 2 or $220 or I don't know how much.
Yeah, something like that probably.
Yeah, but in terms of fanciest glass probably here, you can't buy these unless you go
in the world.
Yeah. You can't buy these unless you go on like eBay or something, and I think it's like $1,000 if you do.
Or unless you buy a bottle of Louis, which is how much?
Well, I don't think they're giving them out. It was just like rare occasions when they're giving them out.
Got it.
But I am gonna say that the brand ambassador from Louis did gift these to us. We didn't buy them. Didn't spend $1,000 on eBay buying them. It is the heaviest glass I've ever held. It's perhaps the fanciest looking thing I've ever seen. It is really, really fancy. I don't know if it's the best nosing glass, but it's fun to nose out of because it just explodes up and it just feels, when the liquid comes right here, the way this is designed, the cuts, it's just a really ultra fancy thing to drink out of.
It's almost like you said, the suit with this guy.
Yeah.
It feels luxurious.
Yeah.
It adds this experience.
Yes. Yes.
To what you're doing.
It's kind of like fancy packaging. You know, it's not necessary, but it's kind of fancy.
Yeah, as long as it increases your enjoyment.
Yeah.
Now, is that Lalique?
Bakra.
Bakra, okay. Got it.
But this one's Lalique. This is the Matalan nosing glass by Lalique. These are always sold out on the website. I think I don't know what they are. They're a couple $100s, I think. And this is also like one of the most gorgeous glasses.
That's also, yeah.
It is just a cool design.
Beautiful functionality.
Yeah,
Great
and it works. It's a badass glass.
It's also up there.
Next, I could have brought out a million different versions. Actually got this for free recently. It's just a regular old tumbler, and not worth much. If this was to go, I don't think this is more than a $5 glass, but I think everybody does need a tumbler if you want something on the rocks, or if you want a whiskey cocktail or something like that. Then just a simpler tumbler like this will do. You don't really need anything more, and you can probably get this for $5.
What's the maker? Oh, Diplomatico?
I think it's from the Diplomatico box.
Got
gift bag.
Got it.
Next, we have a Orlean Glass. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with the Orlean Glass. It kind of became popular for a while. I'm sure it still is.
They have great marketing.
Not for me.
Well, not sure about functionality. I'm trying to say, like, people, it's eye-catching, the marketing, but the functionality is not my favorite.
Yeah.
It almost feels like plastic.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
But it's common. It's popular.
Yeah. And then we're going to follow through with 3 ultra premium tumblers. One of them is this Lalique Owl Whiskey Tumbler. This is just, again, one of those ultra premium, super fancy. Just seeing the liquid go through this crystal, holding it. It's just a high-end experience. It's fancy. Obviously not a nosing glass. This is just if you just want to chill, enjoy, and sip something. It's very expensive. It's $300 per glass.
So much fun to hold though.
Yeah.
Now for this is on the lighter side for a bulkier tumbler. Look at this. Yeah, this bad boy. Bakra.
I think that's called a Luxor Tumbler.
Yeah, Luxor. This is actually a phenomenal tumbler.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of holding it and just feeling it and seeing the liquid go in there, that just feels like extremely expensive and fancy crystal.
This is probably my favorite tumbler.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
And those are very expensive. It's $490 for a set of 2. You can't buy them individually.
Now this, it's almost so fancy. You're scared to use it every day. For more everyday use, you have this guy, also Baccarat. What is this guy called?
I can't remember the name, but it's just very practical use. I really enjoy holding it.
Yes.
It just feels right. I'm not scared to drop it. It's expensive. It comes in a set of 2 for $280. It's very, very expensive. It's one of those where, I got it as a gift. It's not something I would go out and buy. But I really, really enjoy owning it, and I actually use that glass quite often.
That's what I'm getting at.
It just feels right. It's not too much.
Right.
It's not too fancy, and I tend to use that tumbler over any other tumbler.
Yeah.
Most of the time. But again, like maybe in the picture right now, like you see this and you see that, you're like, oh, $5 glass versus $140 glass.
Right.
But I assure you, when you're holding it, it's a whole other world of quality.
Yeah.
Now, Mike.
You see that guy? Yeah. Oh yeah. Luxurious? Oh yeah, not luxurious.
If I had to pick.
Okay, the top guys.
If I had to pick obviously you have to own a Glencairn. If you don't own several Glencairns, then you're not allowed to be called a whiskey enthusiast. You have to have Glencairn.
A lot. Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to do this. I want to say pick top 3.
Yeah.
3 glasses.
Yeah.
To own out of all the nosing glasses, but that's hard to do. I wouldn't even know what to do.
Not for me.
You would know exactly which 3?
Yes.
So I definitely would go here, and I definitely want one of these, but I want both of these as well. So it's very, very tricky for me to pick. So it's just kind of tricky. How do I not have a Glencairn glass, but how do I not also have a Copita glass? I can't do a top 3. But these 4, absolute must for me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Mine's easy. 1, Crate and Barrel. 2, the Ish or Ish, whatever. 3.
Well, this is more of a luxury item. I'm not counting that.
Got it.
Yeah. I'm not counting that. But
No,
I understand
I'll go 3 Copita, 4 Glencairn.
Yeah.
I know what it should be though. Like you have to have Copita, Glencairn.
You have to have those.
Crate and Barrel.
You have to.
Then, yeah.
You have to.
And then if you want to splurge, get the Ish.
Yes. These get a little silly in price.
Yeah, those are the. Yeah.
Tumblers. This is all you really need. But if I had to get one, if I was gonna do a splurge, I would do this. 2 of them for $280. Not because I like it more than some of these other ones, but this just gets in a ridiculous price territory.
Yeah.
And I just really enjoyed that. But anyways, this was not all of our glasses. We have many more, but it was enough to show off, and we definitely brought out the fancy ones to show off for the video, as well as some practical ones. So hope you guys enjoyed this, yeah, let us know what you think.
Just give you a few ideas and share what we're into.
Absolutely.
Good.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.